Hello, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel and my personal journal. So I'm gonna jump straight into things. I actually have a final exam for my MBA tomorrow, and I thought, why not? Since I have to record a video, I promised myself to record one every bi-weekly. I will do one about my MBA and my current experiences, and also while doing that, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to study for my final exam. And also, fun fact, I'm going to study for my final exam in this video as well, together with you guys. But briefly about MBA, right? I'm doing my MBA at UOW, which is University of Wollongong. Actually doing a online distance learning MBA, which provides me with flexibility to actually work and also do my MBA together. And MBA is something I wanted to do for a very long time, and I saw the chance to do it and the opportunity to do it, so I just took up the chance and just actually did it. When you do an MBA while you're working, the most important thing you can actually face is time management. You need to be very prudent in how you manage your time. And basically, I try to make myself study every day for at least an hour and 2 hours every Saturday and Sunday. So actually, I have an exam tomorrow. Today's the final day, and what else to do to record a video while studying? Kill two birds with one stone. As I said, my YouTube channel it's always been my passion, but my other passion is to do an MBA. And also, why not combine the two passions together, do my MBA while recording a YouTube video? So without further ado, let's jump right into the study session. So yeah, before jumping right into the study session, I want to introduce you to this technique that I actually use, and I would like to share with you guys, the viewers, if you're interested, on how to study for anything at all. For in my case, it's my MBA, right? So I'm going to be introducing this thing called the Feynman Technique. So basically, Feynman is a Nobel Prize winning physicist. His explanation of this technique was simple and to the point. He would promote it to his university and beyond. So this is a very well-known topic, right? And this is a well-known technique. So he thinks that, highlighting sentences, trying to memorize them is not one of the most efficient way to study. He said can help you recall if you use the Feynman technique, and also help you understand better. And also, the whole reason why I do an MBA is not to just do the exams and just memorize it and forget about it. I want to really recall what I learned when I actually, my dream is to start a business. I want to recall what I learned in my MBA and also better understand all of the principles I learned as well. So the idea of the Feynman technique, I think there's a very good illustration here to simplify it out. Step one, you want to write down the name of the concepts and what you want to learn. Number two, you explain it in your own words. Basically explain it to as if someone was 5-year-old sitting opposite you and see how you do. And then you take the two and then you compare it, you check your thought process, and then you simplify it, and that is your study session done. It's an efficient way to study, and it doesn't actually waste too much of your time. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it for my final exams here. So yeah, jumping straight into it, business economics final cheat sheet. This is basically step one, which is write down the name of the concepts in very simplistic terms. So I have 3 topics that will be part of my finals that were actually kindly given by my lecturer, so I'm going to cover it here. The first topic is unemployment and inflation, government economics, management policies, fiscal, monetary, supply side policies, and the final one is international economics. So each of these topics actually came with like a 58 to even like 70 slides worth of information, and I boiled it down to these few tips. So that's actually satisfying the first step, which is to write down the name and the concepts. And each of these concepts are actually learning outcomes that we're expected to know after reading each section. So I read through the slides and I pulled out all of these things. So right now, we're gonna jump into step 2, which is to explain it in our own words. And I actually have prepared this. It's exactly the same as this. However, I only left the learning outcomes here, so I'm gonna explain here. I'm gonna type it out, of course, as if I'm explaining to a 5-year-old, and I'm gonna compare these two to see what are the gaps of knowledge I have and how I can better improve and recall in the future. So I'm gonna speed up the video, enjoy the time lapse, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, that took a little bit of time, but I am back, and now I have to my right, you can see business economics explained in my own words, and then to my left is the cheat sheet that I got all of these information from the slides from. Yeah, so now we're gonna do step 3, which is to check your thought process and compare the two. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna highlight what I see that are my knowledge gaps, what I need to remember, and then I'll simplify this page even more, and then we're done for our study session. So back to the time lapse, I guess. We're back, and let's do the final step now. After I checked my thought process, I have to basically simplify and recap what I just did, right? So these are the knowledge gaps that I have identified. I have simplified them a little bit so I can basically remember them and recall them in the future time, hopefully tomorrow during my exam. So just gonna go over it really quickly. I had a knowledge gap in the definition and measurement of inflation rate. Of course, the definition I got, it's pretty simple. It's just a sustained increase general price level of goods and services in an economy. However, I had a problem with the measurement. So the measurement can be done with CPI, Consumer Price Index, right? Anticipated and unanticipated inflation, I struggle with this one as well. So inflation has overall effect on consumption, investment, and economic stability. Anticipated is slow and steady. Unanticipated is usually fast and drastic, and it's caused by bad policies by the governments, right? Types of inflation, we have demand pull, which is usually demand side. Inflation, we have cost push, supply side. I actually wrote demand side, supply side, but this is more specific naming. We also have built-in inflation. And the economic cost, of course, here, I had it here, but I didn't manage to recall it the last time I was doing step 2. So I just written it down here. We have purchasing power that would be affected. We have political unrest and wider wealth gaps. These are probably the most important ones that I could write in my paper tomorrow. Now moving on to topic 10, which is government and economic management policies, fiscal, monetary, and supply side policies. Struggle with this, multiplier effects from government spendings. So this actually refers to the magnified impact of government spending on overall economic activity. So for example, when a government increases spending, demand increases, production increases, income and employment increases, which should boost spending within the economy and overall grow, GDP per capita, PPI, etc., etc. Then we have credit creation and tools of monetary policy. So for this one, tools of monetary policy is where I struggled in. Credit creation is pretty basic for me. I got that. So banks create new money through lending, giving them credits, bonds, etc. So the tools of monetary policies is open market operations, Governments can buy and sell bonds, as I mentioned above. There's discount rate adjustments, reserve requirements. Central banks can also influence money supply, which is controlling the currency, basically, and also impact interest rates within the country as well. I also had a gap with concept of inflationary and deflationary gap. I mean, in terms of the more specifics, inflationary gap is when demand exceeds supply, leading to upward pressure in prices. Deflationary is basically when demand falls short of supply, resulting in unused resources, downward pressure, and probably a deflationary cycle, just like in Japan. And I think what is the next country that is facing a deflationary gap, if I can recall? Yeah, I can't recall, but I know it's definitely Japan. I think it might be China, but don't quote me on that. Next one is limitations of using demand management policies to achieve long-run economic growth. So usually governments will use demand management policies. They are fiscal, monetary policies used by the central banks and sometimes the governments. Yeah, it's effective in stabilizing the economy in the short run. So for example, COVID hits, fiscal and monetary policies is usually the way to go. However, if you have a country that is in a capital deficit or export deficit, that means you're importing more than you export, then that's a net negative for the company. Sorry, not for the company, a net negative for the country. Therefore, it requires long-run growth stimulus, and usually this is done via supply-side factors such as productivity, innovation, and infrastructure. And you can see here are the policies that are basically enhancing economic productivity and also potential growth rate by improving factors like education, tech innovation, labor market flexibility, etc., deregulation, and things like that. So, I mean, that's my recap done. This all actually took me just 2 hours to do. So it's actually a pretty fast way of recalling, doing some last minute studies. And, you know, I'm pretty much prepared for my exams tomorrow. If I need to really recall, I can open this up 1 hour before my exam, just try to like hit some of these very key things that I've highlighted. For these, I could accurately recall them so that there shouldn't be any issue. I hope this actually helps you with your studies. I know I rambled a little bit today in this video. I mean, this video is meant to be a journal for myself and hold myself accountable with the Feynman technique. And also, it's as I said, for me to kill two birds with one stone, pursue uploading YouTube videos that are consistent for you guys, and also studying and pursuing my MBAs. So yeah, I'm gonna go maybe catch some sleep now, and yeah, I hope I will recall what I have learned today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.